Well, today we are in the beautiful Fireside RV Park in Woodruff, South Carolina. And today we are working on this KZ Sportsman, and we have a failed tongue jack and 3 scissor jacks that need to be replaced. Let's go look at what we got going on. As you can see here, they got the tongue of the camper scotched up with some blocks, and they've got some rope around the tongue jack. And let's see if we get any kind of movement down here. Yeah, not that way. Not that way. Doesn't even act like it wants to move. Alright, well, looks like the worm gear inside of the tongue jack may be broke. Let's see what we can get into here. Good thing about this is I don't have to jack up the front of the camper. The customer's already done it. Put these blocks under it. So we're gonna take these 3 bolts out, remove the jack, new jack in, 3 new bolts in, and then we got to wire it up. And most of these tongue jacks, especially like with the Lippert one that we're going to put in, you'll have 1 wire, and that'll run to the battery. And it'll be like an inline fuse on the wire, and the jack itself will be grounded on the frame. So let's go get that out and get started. There you go. All right, so we got the bolts out, and it's just you know, they're just threaded into the to the tongue there. There's no nut on the other side. And we got our wiring here. It's just 1 wire that runs it, like I said earlier. And it looks like they've got it wired into this auto resettable DC breaker right here. That's what it looks like at the moment. Yeah, it's wired into a ring there. But what we can do, which I might possibly do, the new tongue jack comes with an inline fuse on it. I may just wire it directly to the positive on the battery. So anyhow, we got our bolts out. Let's cut our rope. We're gonna have to take this sand pad off, and that right there is why they had it tied up. All right, there you go. Look at that. Ha! The whole thing came apart in 2 pieces. I've never seen that before. Wow. Yeah, I've never seen the whole shaft come out of it like that before. She's broke. I'm gonna go ahead and take a wire brush and clean that up. Let's get that rusty debris off there. Let's get that paint off there and make sure we got a good solid negative ground. Yeah, let's get that rusty off there. And here, my friends, is a beautiful brand new tongue jack, and we will set that in that hole, get our bolts in, get our sand pad on, and wire it in. And I was right, there is an inline fuse right here, probably a 30 amp, and it is a 30 amp. Oh crap, there goes the customer's instructions, warranty information. So we'll put that guy in there, close it up, and we will put a ring terminal on there. There might be one in that bag, and then just put the guy straight to the post. All right. Okay, there we go. We are now flush flat. And we're just going to screw it down. And then once we got this guy snugged up, I'll go ahead and just touch the wire to the positive post, and then we'll see. It should run though. Now these nuts, you would think, wow, these things are big, bad, ginormous. You know, they really can handle a lot, and they can. I mean, because you think about how much weight this guy has to lift up. But don't make the mistake of putting a big heavy-duty impact gun on one of these. It'll twist that bolt right in half. Ask me how I know. All right, so we've got it on there snug. Let's see if she's gonna run. All right, and we'll come over here and hit the button. Okay, she's running. And sounds beautiful. Little light come on. Little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. All right, who knows that? Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. Where's our new sand pad? Oh, right there. Just line our holes up. Put our little pin through it. Take your little cotter pin. It's probably not a cotter pin per se, but you know, it is today. All right, sand pad's on. Now, we can't run it yet. We got to wire it in. All right, and looks like it's just enough wire that we can just kind of real nice and neat tuck it down here, run it around here, get it right up here to the post on the battery. Yeah, I like it. All right. In the meantime, let's take off the old one and get it out of the equation. All right. I got this guy wired onto our resettable down here. And that is all nice and rusty. That makes me a little nervous about trying to take that off. Yeah. Let's scoot the battery box over. Somehow I got it turned. All right, here we go. Here we go. Please don't break. Please don't break. Okay. All kinds of sparkage going on here. That means there's something on inside. It could be lights on or something inside. I don't know. The camper's locked. I can't get in there. I could see if there was a battery cutoff somewhere. And guess what happened, everybody? It broke. Color me surprised. All right, well, we're just gonna have to put a new breaker on here. Golly, this thing is so old. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna disconnect our positive and get this breaker off here, find out what the rating is on it, and replace it. There, okay, so we're gonna have to dig out a new DC breaker, and we're gonna have to dig out a couple big ring terminals, 3 of them. Now I could just cut out the inline fuse and all that and just wire it straight to this DC breaker. Or I could just go straight to the battery. Either way is fine. I think for the sake of today, I may just run it straight to the battery. And that got one screw out. Will I be victorious on the next one? There we go. All right. So we can reuse those 2 self-taps there. And we'll just go find us another resettable breaker, and you can see what the issue is here. I was trying to get this nut off, and all it was doing was pulling the whole stem right out, the whole threaded post right out of that Resettable. Let's see if we can read what's on it. 30 amp. All right, so let's go see if I've got a 30 amp Resettable, which I should. If I don't, I'm in trouble. Let's go look. 30 amp Resettables right here. And we'll double check it. Yep, 30 amp right there. So we'll put this guy on. Put him a new little weatherproof rubber boot on. And get him wired in. So something to make note of with these Resettables is that the copper post is your supply side, and then the other post, which will either be taller, you can see that there, it's taller, and of course it's not copper colored, that'll be your load side, or the side that's downstream from the power. So the 12 volts coming into this guy is going to be our copper post. So this battery cable right here that used to be red but is now half white, we'll put a ring terminal on that, put that on there, and then the other end of that will go copper onto the silver post. And then our tongue jack, we're going to wire directly to the 12 volt post of the battery. Can I put him there and him there? Absolutely. Absolutely, that'll work. The rubber boot causes a little bit of an issue, but we could just trim a gap with the side cutters there. This is going to work. I like it. Alright, so we're just going to cut us a little notch here in our little rubber boot. Trying to do what we can to make this a better situation. Sometimes the little simple jobs end up being a little more cantankerous than you want them to be. Alright, so we're going to mount it this way, since our power wire comes in from this direction here. So let's go ahead and get this guy mounted up. Alright, got our breaker on. Now we can put our little weatherproof boot on there. I don't know how weatherproof it really is, but let's just do our part, right? Alright, so where did my little connectors go? Right here. So we're going to stick him in, tighten it down with the screwdriver that I didn't bring. Alright, here we go. I feel like we're actually making some progress now. So we're just going to tighten that up. You know what? I wonder if I could use a ferrule on that. And all a ferrule is it just kind of a thing, as you can see in the picture. It just, you can get all them strands in that one tube and then crimp it there. So it kind of makes a stranded wire, almost a solid core wire, at least on the end of it. Heck, that might work. Let's take a couple of those over there. Let's see if we can make a better mousetrap. All right. So right here, let's take this guy back off. Okay, take that off. So we got all of our strands here, right? Well, that lug there that I'm tightening down, it's not necessarily putting pressure on all of the strands. So let's see if we can take this and put him over, and what a fit. What a fit. Can you dig it? Yes, I can. And then we'll crimp it. Okay. And that's what it looks like after it crimps it. So all them strands are all caught up in that ferrule. It's just a better connection. Now, when we stick this in here, it's going to be, as somebody I know says, mo better. Oh yeah. definitely going to be more better. Yeah. I don't want to set it on the frame of the trailer. Well, my negative's not connected. It wouldn't be a dead short, I guess, but why chance it? Alright, so this, because this comes off the positive post of the battery, is going to go to the copper post on the Resettable. Alright, so our wire from the camper, we're going to strip this guy, cut the insulation. There we go. And then we'll put our other ferrule on. And look at that. Golly, that worked out well. I'm glad you thought of that. Oh, good. Good. Yeah, and now we'll take this here and stick him in here and tighten it down with him here. Alright, and that's a nice snug fit. Now we'll take this and put this here, and where's my other nut? Here it is, right here. Alright. Him on there, and we're just going to want to make sure that our two Mamma Jamma connectors here that we had to use for our wires are not touching each other on that breaker. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose. Those guys are snugged up, and they are not touching each other. Okay. And these nubs right here that look like Lego tops, they just click down onto those posts there. So if anybody was ever wanting to know why it looks like a Lego block, that would be why. Now the question is can I get them to snap on the posts with my oversized connectors here? And we did. It don't look beautiful, but I'm telling you, that's going to be solid. Alright, and the only thing I don't like about going on here is look how corroded this ring terminal is. That's pretty corroded. So let's go get a little wire brush and clean that up. Alright, so here we go. We're just cleaning this up. Let's get some of that corrosion off there. And you can see the copper poking through. That's what we want. We want there to be a good negative ground on our battery here. For the electrons. The electrons leave the battery, flow through the work, come back to the battery on the negative post. And if they can't make their way back to the battery, then we'll have failing components. Now that is cleaned up. It ain't perfect, but it's cleaned up well. Okay, got that on there. We've got our nut here. And I don't want any of that underneath my connection. Good, marvelous. Yep, okay. All right, so we got that snugged up. Now we just need to get that positive off so we can wire our tongue jack in. Good gosh, tongue jack should be installed by now. Since we've got 13 volts going to that guy, let's go ahead, take the negative cable back off. And then now we can take the positive cable off. This O-ring don't look too bad. Our ring connector don't look too bad at all. But since we got a brush right here, let's go ahead and clean it up. Now, like I said, we got our tongue jack here. Let's kind of feed him around. And in the end, we'll just take a couple tie wraps and tie up these loose ends. All right, now these ring terminals I brought over, well, this one fit the post like a charm. Can we? Oh yeah, look at that. Fit right in there. Right in there. Now we can take our crimpers. All right, look at that. Give it a little test tug. All good. And we're gonna set that guy on that positive post. Put him back on the positive post. Put our nut back on the positive post. Tighten up our positive post. Okay. Now we're going to put our negative post back on. Okay. Just for the sake of double checking, I'm gonna double check. We've got converter voltage on our battery, and we do 13.68. Beautiful. And now that that's wired in, we have a working tongue jack. That, my friends, is good news. We're going to go ahead and move on to 3 scissor jack R&R removal and reinstallation. And if you want to watch how that's done, then find the video here. You'll find it.